good to see some pockets of the mid-cap index doing pretty well. But Jai Bala of cashthechaos.com joins us now. Hi, Jai. Good morning. Thanks so much. Good afternoon. Thanks so much for joining in. Jai, what about the index? You know, you have been fairly negative on the index. Then we saw that counter trend bounce. Do you think that we're done with it and we'll resume the decline? We're in a phase of consolidation from the 17,650. Where are we headed?
Hi, Nigel. Thanks for having me on the show. The bounce from 16,828 that we saw, and the market touched somewhere close to 17,840. It looks like it is done, but we need confirmation from the market. If the market were to take out the low that registered on the day, that is yesterday, Monday, the market's reaction, the low registered after market's reaction to infused results, if that low gets taken out, it's highly probable that the markets have completed its counter trend move. 3-4 weeks back when we had discussed about the gaps in the market and had projected the March gap to be touched, but the market exceeded that and completed the February gaps too. So we watch out for the break of Monday's low. Once that is done, the market will signal the counter trend rally is done.
What about banks, Jay? The Nifty Bank has been showing some relative strength. This month, while the Nifty is up 1.7%, the Nifty Banking Index is up 4%. What are you observing on the charts? Is the counter trend rally done there too?
The banks, have slightly exceeded the previous resistance that I had projected, and but the structural pattern hasn't changed. It might still, try to push closer towards 42,900. But if the banking index were to break 41,700, that will signal the counter trend bounce is also complete. The index is holding up well for now, but some of the key stocks, something like watch out for ICICI, Axis. These are the weaker pockets there. If ICICI were to break 864 and Axis were to break 860, that will put pressure on the market. And SBI comes to a resistance. It's not yet showing weakness, but if it were to break below support, that will also likely to contribute. So these are the three I'm keeping my eyes on for the markets to signal within the banking sector that it is also turning lower.
Okay, so Jay, I guess you're retaining your bearish view. You're saying this counter trend up move is coming to an end. Is this a call, just on what you're seeing in India? Or are you seeing some more evidence across international charts, whether you're talking about US bond yields, dollar, the US market itself? Any other trends that you're picking up right now?
There's a little bit of a point to be made on the Indian market itself. Then before I get to the global picture, the Nifty IT, which is heavily weighted towards Infosys. I look back to 21 years of data going back to 2001, 2002. Whenever Infosys cracks in the first quarter of the calendar year, it tends to have a cascading effect on the Nifty. If say something from a 2 weeks to 12 weeks perspective. But the number of times it's had an effect from a 12-week perspective is far less, but often it has an effect from 4 to 8 weeks, and the decline for the Nifty has been somewhere between 3 to 8%. So this is just a visual analysis. I haven't documented as a statistical analysis. I had planned to do it, but I hadn't had the time to do it. So that's something you need to bear in mind. When it comes to the US futures, the NASDAQ is the one that's holding up. I've been repeating that for 2 weeks. So I'm waiting for the NASDAQ to signal that the counter trend bounce is complete. There's no doubt that it's a counter trend bounce for the NASDAQ. If the NASDAQ futures were to break below 12,634, it's a little bit of distance now. But if it does break, that will signal that the global markets are also turning lower. And the European markets have shown a considerable amount of strength. And if the Euro Stoxx 50 were to make fresh 52-week highs, from a contrarian perspective, it will be highly bearish because it will signal the completion of a move from the pandemic low. So watch out for these global factors. Again, the 10-year yields in the US, if it were to take out 3.611, that will also signal the resumption of the uptrend that started from the last year lows, somewhere about 0.8.
Jay, what's the NASDAQ futures level you mentioned, where a downtrend will be confirmed then that you're watching out for?
12,634. An intraday break would do. I don't need a close there. Just an intraday break below 12,634 on NASDAQ Futures. That's the very important support I'm looking for. If the index were to make fresh, say 52-week highs, that won't change the picture because it's a confirmation that we already have a choppy overlapping move which signals this is only a counter trend bounce.
All right, Jay, you have given us fair amount of details on the equities and equity indices. And a couple of stocks as well we have mentioned. Let's turn our attention away to a couple of other asset classes. What about the Bitcoin? It had a total counter trend move. In fact, in 2023, that's the best performing asset class, I think so, from those bombed out levels. Where is that one headed? I mean, everyone's celebrating $30,000 odd. Where do you see this move? Point number one. That's the one that equity market watchers are maybe watching it or not. But the important one is going to be Brent crude. That as well has seen a bit of an up move, stabilizing around $85 per barrel. We're interested in that, from an equity market perspective. So your view on both these two assets.
Yeah, Bitcoin, as you rightly pointed out, it's acting from a very short-term perspective like a safe haven. And I know the recent turmoil has pushed the crypto to rally quite well. There are two possibilities here. One is a bullish possibility that the crypto Bitcoin has bottomed and is going up in a long-term uptrend. But my preferred choice is that the 31K that is put in just recently has probably part of a down move that is yet to complete. I would like to see the crypto go below the last year low, somewhere close to 14,500. Once that is done, it will be a long-term bottom for the cryptocurrency. But if the crypto were to hold about 24K, that's quite bullish. It would mean that it's already bottomed and it's going for a record high if it were to hold about 24K. Brent, as I've been pointing out, 87 to 91 is a very important range. It's highly probable that it's got little more upside to work with for the Brent variety, say somewhere close to 89, 90, and then from a 3+ months to 6 months perspective, I see Brent cracking below 65. So right now, from an extreme short-term perspective, I'm not sure if it's completed the move, owing to the cartel, OPEC cartel, trying to keep the prices up. But it could have a little bit upside left, but very bearish from a medium-term perspective.
Okay, stay on. Brent headed down, so bearish on Brent, bearish on equities as well. Do stay on, Jay. Need to slip into a break. We'll come back and we'll also get in the closing rates for today.